Hello everybody and welcome to another great episode of Hillbilly Select Reviews. Remember, on Tuesdays I post tea, tea reviews. Wednesday is whiskey or some type of spirit. Friday is beer, we have Beer Friday. Saturday is wine. And then I do a Sunday morning coffee review. So, there's something for everybody here. And today, I'm going to do an old standby, and it's going to be a little interesting. I'm going to do a quick history, and then I got a little something special, I think, for you. And then we will do the tasting. So, this is going to be Crown Royal, all right, a blended whiskey from Canada. It was made by the Seagrams, the head of the Seagrams Company in 1939, because King George VI was visiting Canada with his wife Elizabeth, Queen Elizabeth, and he wanted to present them with a special whiskey. Today, it became very successful. 1939, about 30 years later, it came to the USA, where it is very successful and has been very successful here. There's a lot of things that in the product that go back to the fact that its roots, why it was made for the King and the Queen and their first time visit to Canada. Tell you how big they are. They use almost 10,000 bushels of grain a day, almost 1 million gallons of water. I think they have like 2 million barrels, over 50 warehouses. Okay, so they are doing something right. Yes, they are doing something right. So that's a cool history of it. Being on the lake, Lake Manitoba, Winnipeg. That water, freshwater lake, filters through limestone, and that's where they get a lot of that 2 million gallons a day. So that's a plus for them. The other cool thing about this is they blend their whiskey from 50 different types of whiskey. Now, how do they get 50 types in those, 50 warehouses they have and the 2 million barrels? Well, they only have 5 mash bills. Excuse me. So they have 5, same grains. Just different percentages, but they age them in the barrels. A lot of the barrels are different times that they're aged, which is going to impart a different flavor on top of the 5 different grains. They have the different temperatures in the warehouse, which ages the whiskey differently. What else do they do? They charm different. Some are not charred, some are heavily charred, some are lightly charred. So from all this, they get 50 different types, and they blend their whiskey. That's a plus. That's kind of cool. The fact that they are one of the best sellers in Canada and the USA says they are doing something right. Now, why do I mention all this? If you look, a lot of people who are into whiskey and do these channels, they'll say this is the whiskey for people who don't like whiskey, or every whiskey maker that's ever been, that is now, and ever will be in the future wishes they were as successful as this company. So let's face it, they are doing something right. Period. They're doing something right. Now, how does this relate to the... And that's it. We're going to get into tasting it now. And let me say one more thing. Well, I'll get into that with the tasting. Now, here is today's bottle. It is I'm doing a mini, okay? I'm doing a mini because I do, every Wednesday. I'm going to have 52 bottles. So I do this real nice. Now, I want you to take a good look at that. All right? This is plastic. Look at the cap. Look at the label. Look at everything. And the reason I say that, this is bought the other day. I happen to have a miniature from the early 1980s, okay? And in the early 1980s, it came in this bag. Now, it's a purple bag. They have a lot of different whiskeys now, and they all come in different color bags, depending on what it is. They have flavored whiskeys. They have all kinds. They probably, 7, 8 kinds of whiskey that Crown Royal makes now. But back in and the reason for the bag, it's not only marketing, it's purple and gold, which is royal colors, but it also protects the whiskey from what? From light. So there's a purpose to it. People repurpose the bags, very popular. Now I want you to look though. Look at this compared to this. Okay? Look at the label, because this one's like 35 years old, this one. Look at the top. It's a crown. It's glass. Look how much thicker it is. All right, here's the back. Notice no barcode. They didn't exist back then. So if you want to pause this and look at any, differences. Now, like I say, the back even reads differently. So this is back in the day. Now, it would be very interesting, wouldn't it, to open both of these and compare a 35-year-old bottle, all right, with a bottle that I bought this week. But I'm not going to do that because this is part of my collection and it's old, and I may do it in the future. But for now, I've kept it. I bought this, and I've kept it all these years, and I'm going to continue to hoard it. So let's crack this bad boy open and see what we get. You know what kind of glass this is? A Glencairn. A lot of people use it for tasting whiskey. I kind of like the old school, but, and I have a million of them. Million type of glasses, you wouldn't believe it. But I'm going to show it one of these days. And why do I have a million? Because I used to be in the business. I used to get them all free. And I mean I have a lot. Cases and cases of glasses. Okay, so here's the color. What do you think? Yeah. This is 80 proof. It's not real expensive as far as whiskeys go. Now, here's what I get on this. This isn't going to be, it's not unbelievably complex. I mean, I love that they're on that lake. I love that they used the 50 different types of whiskeys blended in this. I love that they're the #1 seller because it says they're doing something right. And I get the usual suspects in here. I get vanilla, okay? I get caramel, and I get either, I can't put my finger on it, apple or pear. Some type of fruity element to this. And that's it. It's got a, anytime you smell whiskey, it's got a sweet, pleasant smell. To me, I like those flavors, okay? I like that smell. So let's see if it transfers. Now, talking right after it, right? It's mellow. It's smooth. There's no heat here. There's a little, but for whiskey, not a lot. 80 proof, not a lot of heat. Let me have that finish for a minute. I'm going to taste it, and then I'll talk to you about it. It's got a nice mouthfeel to it. It's not thin, like you might think it is. Okay, it's easy to drink this. You get some caramel. You don't get a lot of burn. I get the vanilla. Okay, a nice creamy vanilla, caramel. Don't really get the trying to pick out that fruit now. I smelled the apple or the pear. Get a little bit of bite from the rye. Taste it. It's good. Think about the difference between rye bread and regular bread. Rye has that cool flavor to it. Cool spiciness. It's different. If you've had two breads, that's what the grain is, obviously. So you get that in here. And so it's not unbelievably complex. But here's the deal. And people say it's a mixing whiskey. You can mix it if you want. You can mix anything. I've seen people mix whiskey that very expensive whiskey, but you're not wrong because you're allowed to do what you want with your whiskey, and you're allowed to like what you like, right? Okay, nobody can tell you that you don't know anything about whiskey if you like this. Okay, they can't. Right? You tell them it's stupid. So here's the deal. At the very least, this would be a great whiskey for beginners to get into whiskey. And then maybe they move up to the more expensive and more complex brands. If this whiskey only did that, this would be an unbelievably successful endeavor. It'd be very successful to be good enough to get people into whiskey to move up later. But I happen to know for a fact there are a lot of people who are into whiskey. I mean, I've been drinking whiskey. You know, I used to be in the business, right? I'm in Kentucky. Believe me, I have access to whiskey. That's you can see it on here. I just posted. Well, I don't know when I'm gonna post this, but at a distiller. Okay, gave me a hell of a tour, real nice in Kentucky. I'm gonna get a lot of them. Okay, I know a lot of these people. My point is, I know as much. I don't know as much as anybody, but I know enough. So you can like this. It's okay. Okay, you can like it. Everybody, people can like this, and people do. Don't be jealous because they're big. Okay, it's not as complex as some. No, it's not. But it is a fine sipper. Okay, there's not a big aftertaste on it. It's smooth and it's mellow. Okay, and if you drink it and you're new into whiskey, it's a good one to start out on, and you may or may not move up to other things. Okay, that's what this is. It's the equivalent, I think, of, and I know people, you know, but here's another big seller, Jack Daniels. Okay, people love it, right? It's a big seller. Okay, they're doing something right. I'm sure people make fun of that, right? It's not a little boutique $90 bottle. You know. So anyway, it'd be like a Jack Daniels or a Jim Beam white label, or a Johnny Walker Red. Okay, people make fun of that too. Once again, all very successful. Okay, you haven't discovered something that nobody else knows. Okay, people are drinking it for a reason. So anyway, that's where it's on par with probably, and there's nothing wrong with that. And so, and I like the fact, I like their marketing. I do. I like the story, and I like the marketing. And so overall, that's what it is, and that's what you're going to get with it. Okay. Yeah, I can put this next to other whiskeys, and I'm going to bring out a lot more flavors in the other whiskeys, a lot more. But maybe I don't want a lot more. Maybe I just want to sip a simple whiskey that isn't that expensive, but still tastes good. Okay. Nobody's going to spit this out. Put it in a flask, take it to a game, right? So there's a lot of uses for this, and yes, you can mix it, but you can mix anything. But you can drink it straight. Put some water in it. Put some ice. I like it just. I don't. You ever do that? I might do it for reviews, but. When I drink my whiskey, unless it's really like a barrel strength and it's really kicking my butt, I might put a few drops of water, bring it down a little bit. But I'll always drink a part of it straight to get it the way it is coming out, the way they put it in the bottle. So, I'm gonna sip and enjoy the rest of this. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a mellow with some nice flavors, a nice smell. Probably equivalent if you drink bourbon and scotch to the ones I mentioned, the Beam, the Jack Black, right, Johnny Red, and that's what it is. So, and there's a bunch of you out there that don't like it, a bunch of you out there who've never had it, and a bunch of you out there that love it, and that's what it's all about. So, from Hillbilly Select Reviews, check out all my stuff. Like I said, I got something for everybody, right? Tea, distilled spirits, tours of these distilleries and breweries that I have contacts with, wines, coffees, right? Beers, have it all. And from Hillbilly Select Reviews, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, and you know, pour some whiskey and sip it. Hopefully you've been drinking this along with me and trying to detect the flavors I have. And if you don't, or you do, or you get other ones, let me know, okay? Because nobody's gonna be wrong here. If that's what you taste it, and if you don't, you don't, right? Very simple. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.